What's up, it's Timmy's here. Now, 2025, this saw the release of lots of really good films from Neon. Of course, the previous year there was Noir, that was pretty much my favorite Neon movie that year. There was some pretty good ones that came out this year. So, here is my official top 10 favorite Neon movies of 2025. Now, I still gotta see No Other Choice, but to be honest, that's gonna come out a little wider in January. So, I'll probably just include that in my maybe have a mention of that in my 2026 list. But anyway. Here's my list. Number 10 is Shelby Oaks. Of course, Shelby Oaks is the directorial debut by Chris Stuckman, obviously famed YouTube critic here. Now, I thought it was a pretty decent directorial debut. I did do my top 10 favorite directorial debuts, debuts of the year, and Chris Stuckman is in that list. I don't know, he did a really good job with this one. Was pretty creepy. Really makes me interested to see what his next project's going to be. So, not a bad one there. All right, number 9 is a horror film that came out in the early of the year, and that is Presence. Of course, this was directed by Steven Soderbergh, where like a couple and their children move into like this normal suburban house, and strange occurrences happen, and it's pretty much the point of view of the ghost. Really, it is a really creepy one. Of course, Lucy Liu was great. The one who plays the daughter, by the way, is in the new Street Fighter. She's playing Chung Li, if I'm not mistaken. So that's definitely gonna be her bigger break there. But yeah, Presence. I actually, that was a pretty decent little horror film. Well worth watching there. All right, number 8 is one that's probably gonna win the Oscar for Best International Feature. I'm thinking, and that is It Was Just an Accident. Of course, it is an Iran film about Fayed, who's this auto mechanic who was once in prison for an Iranian by Iranian authorities here. And it's a really decent film, directed by Jafar Panahi. I know it was a little slow burn, I admit, but I thought the performances was really decent. Got pretty intense at times. I mean, interesting political film as well. It's a really decent flick if you guys haven't seen that. All right, number 7 is another directorial debut, and that is the film Hell of a Summer. Now, this is, of course, a directorial debut by former Stranger Things star Finn Wolfhard and Billy Reich, who was just in the movie Friendship. And this is, of course, a really fun, like, camp slasher movie where, like, this 24-year-old arrives for a council weekend as beloved, Camp Pineway. And, of course, there's a killer there targeting the folks one by one. It's a lot of fun. It is entertaining here. Fred Hetchinger, from from White Lotus was great in this as well. Finn Wolfhard. You had some really good cast members in this. It was a really fun little slasher film. All right, number 6 is Splitsville. Splitsville, of course, stars the likes of Dakota Johnson, Adria Arjona. Of course, we're like this girl named Ashley who asks for a divorce. And good-natured Carrie runs to his friends, for support here. And it's a really decent little rom-com. Dakota Johnson was pretty decent. Jonah was really good. From the same people who gave us the movie The Climb. A really nice, definitely one of the better rom-coms in recent years. All right, number 5 is The Secret Agent. Another movie that actually might either win or just get nominated for the Oscar for Best International Feature. Although I will say Wagner Moore will definitely get an Oscar nomination. If Timothée Chalamet doesn't win Best Actor, I won't be surprised if Wagner here makes an upset at the Oscar because he was really good in this one. Of course, it does take place in 1970s Brazil, where technology specialist Marcelo, flees like a mysterious past here and returns to rectify in search of peace here. Wagner Moore, of course, he was recently in Dope Thief. Last year he was in Civil War. He's a really cool actor here. A little more violent than you expect as well. It is a really decent little driller that's well worth a watch here. All right, number 4 is The Monkey. Now, I pretty much got 2 Stephen King films on this list, but one of which is The Monkey. Based on a Stephen King short, I really had a fun time with this one. I thought the kills was pretty cool. Of course, D.O. James was really decent. Of course, we're like twin brothers finds a mysterious wind-up monkey, and of course, a series of Final Destination is deaths occurs around it. And yeah, it was fun, really entertaining here. Quite like some of the cast of characters involved. Really quite like the way the monkey looked here. I mean, I thought it was a really decent one. All right, speaking of Stephen King, number 3 is The Life of Chuck. Of course, starring Tom Hiddleston, directed by Mike Flanagan. I really enjoyed The Life of Chuck. I thought, Tom Hiddleston was great. Really liked the scenery here. Great performances all around. The one who plays like the younger versions of Tom Hiddleston's, was pretty good too. I mean, you had folks such as, you had like Chiwetel Ejiofor, you had Matthew Lillard, Karen Gillian. Some really good cast members involved here. All right, number 2 is Together. Together, of course, is the body horror movie starring real life couple Dave Franco and Alison Brie. And I really thought like the body horror in this was really weird, but I thought it was really fascinating here. Interesting script throughout. The chemistry with Dave Franco and Alison Brie is really good. Michael Shanks, after seeing what he did with this, I'm definitely looking forward to see his next film. So, yeah, Together is a really good one. And number 1 is the one that will probably get some Oscar love as well, and that is Sentimental Value. Of course, starring Stellan Skarsgård, Elle Fanning, Renee Reinslev, like some really good cast members here. Great performances, great script here. Of course, we're like sisters, Nora and Agnes. Renee with their estranged father, the one's renowned director, who of course offers like stage actress Nora a role, what she hopes will be like a comeback for her here, and she soon like discovers that she has given her part to an Edgar, a young Hollywood star here, played by Elle Fanning. Elle Fanning, I think, will probably get some Oscar love for this. She's excellent. I can't really pronounce the other girl's name too well, but the one who plays the other sister, I could really see her. She's definitely an actress to keep your eye out for too. It is a really good one. Stellan Skarsgård's just terrific all around. If you guys haven't seen Sentimental Value, do yourself a favor, give it a go. It's it'll probably hit streaming down the line, but give it a go. It's a really good one. But that's pretty much it there. Here is my quick rundown. Number 10, Shelby Oak. 9, Presents. 8, It Was Just an Accident. 7, Hell of a Summer. 6, Splitsville. 5, The Secret Agent. 4, The Monkey. 3, Life of Chuck. 2, Together. And number 1 is Sentimental Value. Now, they did put out some other stuff that came out this year. Like, obviously, Keeper was definitely not on my list, but that came out. Keeper was probably, to be honest, Keeper is probably the worst. Now, I still haven't seen Arco or Sirat yet because, they haven't played near me yet. So, probably, they're supposed to be opening a little wider next month or the month after. So, I'll probably include those in my, if I do decide to see them, I'll probably include them in my 2026 list. I haven't really seen Orwell 2 + 2 = 5 yet. So, there's that. There's The Actor that also came out. So, yeah, I feel like 2026 is going to be a better year for them, which I'll talk about that in a separate video. But let me let you guys, what's some of your favorite Neon films of the year? Drop comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for notification. This is Xavier Zion.